What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Unique and A Show podcast. Today we have a special guest, and we're gonna get through his story. We're gonna ask him some real deep questions, and get to really know how he does everything he does. You know what I'm saying? So his name is Tinashe, and just so you guys get a little bit of idea of who he is, he's known for his crazy running and yelling, at 5 a.m. Every morning. He's part of that 5 a.m. club. He's also part of the Goldman Sachs 10K SB Accelerator. Founded, a company, Sosani Sosani Studios. It's a media company. He's been able to work with everybody, from, the likes of, Kabi Lame to Gary Vee to so many different people. He has many connections, and he's also known as the mayor, so Tinashe, welcome to the podcast, man.
Thank you. Welcome. I feel excited to be on here. I know this was a very last minute thing you put together, but we're making together. I know I was traveling, so I'm glad we were able to make that.
You're a tough man to catch.
Yeah, exactly.
14 flights in 3 weeks.
Yep,
you know what I'm saying? We're very happy to have you. So why do they actually call you the mayor? I think I read an article and they actually said that it was self-proclaimed.
No. I gotta get something straight here, right? I did not call myself one day the mayor. First of all, it was my advisor, Albert Thompson. He's a 20-year vet in the advertising space, and basically being in the advertising space, right? Really in any profession, you start to realize that it's not always about getting the business, right?
Okay.
We've had our agency now, Sosani Studios, for almost 5 years. And nice. I realizing I was competing against people that have, 10, 15-year relationships. So I started realizing, if I can't maybe do business with you, if I can connect you to someone who does, that relationship is just as beneficial than you necessarily doing business with me. So when you think about a mayor, you think of a community, they know everyone, they're able to connect, you have a problem, you call the mayor. So the mayor philosophy is about building a community within my network and industry, everything like that. Is that a fly trying to get? Boom, I got you, don't worry about it.
You got it. So when you say, you got in this space, you were competing against people with, 10, 15-year relationships.
Yeah.
So how are you able to be, as the new guy, how are you even able to connect these people?
Yeah. So what's interesting about the space I'm in, right? Really any space or any industry. So is I bring passion, I bring excitement to the work I do. One really, really important thing is I get things done, right? There's a lot of talk a lot of people have. A lot of people talk about air. Like my business partner, Duke McKenzie, says this all the time, right? Like everyone likes to talk about air. Like to talk about amazing ideas, amazing project, things we could do together, but there's not as many people in the world that are actually making things happen, right? That are moving the needle. So being able to be in a space where I'm known and my reputation is, if you work with Tinashe, he gets shit done, and people enjoy working with us.
That makes sense.
So I don't know if I can cuss or not here, but
hey, do you?
Okay, exactly. So I would definitely say that's where that comes from, being able to make that connection.
That definitely makes sense, and we're gonna get a little bit more into what you do, but first, I want to kind of touch on your personal story. You know what I'm saying? So let's just start. Like who are you? I did see that you, got GCE equipped.
GCE, they don't even know what that means.
They don't know, but you guys will know soon. So
yes,
obviously, for you to be able to do that, that means you weren't GCE equipped
exactly
at a certain point.
Exactly.
So who are you? Tell us a little bit about how you even.
Yeah. So my name is Tinashe Chaponda. I like to tell people, so I was born in Harare, Zimbabwe. So if you want to know how to say my name, it's like Tinashe from Zimbabwe. And I will say I am not a nasty girl, for those of you out there that understand that trend. But, so I was originally born in Zimbabwe. My family and I migrated here early 2000s. It was me, my brother, and parents. And, I was kind of your typical, kid. I grew up in Kalamazoo, Michigan. Amazing community, very community-centric, nonprofit-centric. Went through kind of the likes of everything. My mom had cancer a few times and unfortunately ended up passing away in 8th grade. And that was kind of an interesting shape shift because, you know, as a male in an all male dominated household, dad was doing what he could, which is, you know, working, providing. Emotions and conversation was tried, but isn't really our specialty, you know, being Africans.
Yeah, no,
you know what I'm saying?
Definitely not the specialty.
Yeah, but that was really interesting because I saw the community really get involved in me and supporting, you know, me and my family, from the church to the school. I went to Paramount Charter Academy before moving to Millwood Middle. And what's interesting about my experience growing up is I wasn't your stereotypical urban black, right? When you come here, immigrants, you see what they see on TV as this is what they define as black, or statistics say that every, you know, 1 in 3 black men is going to be in jail. Stats say, you know, most black businesses don't last past 5 years, you know, and things like that. So I was kind of this kid who was into like rock and roll, Hot Topics, skating, little Michael Jackson here and there.
Skinny jean era.
Remember that? The Hot Topic with the what do they call it? Checkered, you know. But what's interesting, you know, so did that, went into, you know, high school, played soccer. Then I went to Western Michigan University, where I started a nonprofit called Focus Kalamazoo. So connecting students and nonprofits. Basically, year one, we did what? 11 events. Yeah, you were at one of the first events.
I was at, definitely one of that.
Yeah, you were.
Remember, I think I came to your event and got credit for a class or something.
Yeah, exactly. See, I got you. You know, we'll be doing those volunteer hours. You know, getting people to go out there, because when you think about volunteering in high school, there's only 2 people that do volunteering. It's the honors kids / church kids.
True.
Or if you had probation, right? So the concept of volunteering, why I started a nonprofit, was I realized people weren't really seeing the benefits of doing it for more than just getting it done, but for the impact you made. But that. Derek Jeter donated $15,000 to our nonprofit, and I ended up interning at Goldman Sachs my 3rd year, right? First person at Western Michigan while there going to Goldman.
That's crazy.
Got the return offer to come back the next year. Said, you know what, if Goldman Sachs wants me, what does that say about me? So I come back to Michigan, I drop out of, I don't take the offer, I drop out of business school, and I'm like, I'm gonna do this entrepreneur thing and just try to figure it out, you know? So I had my, like, I like to call my little Miley Cyrus moment, you know, when she went kind of from like Disney Channel to Miley Cyrus, or like Justin Bieber moment, or like Demi Lovato. Everyone had that. I like to say the Kanye moment. It's like, shoot, let's reel it back in. But yeah, that's a little bit more about me from my kind of growing, but that led me to do influencing, being an influencer myself for a bit. And then I started the agency Sosani later on in 2020.
That makes sense. So, you know, with starting the agency, you know, like what made you even want to be a part of, you know, like the media or the social media? I know you were doing, you know, like different management, you know, at some point. Like, what made you even interested in this industry?
So what's funny is I've always been a community-driven person, right? So when I started my nonprofit, I was on Facebook, posting every day. Hey, let's do this. These are the goals and aspirations I have. This is what we have done. This is what I want to do. And the community was seeing that on a local level and getting behind this mission, right? So that led to me being an influencer. So being a influencer, making skits. I made skits with you, And it's funny. Like, you tell them the history. They gotta know the history. It's interesting. A lot of these first moments I've had, you've been there in some way. Actually, I think about it. Started doing skits for about a year. Year later, friends like, dude, I just made $200 off YouTube.
That's crazy.
So I was like, what is this? He goes, yeah, man, it's called K-pop reaction. So I made a K-pop channel, grew that to 40,000 subscribers in like 4 months, right? Crazy. So I had a show called K-pop Tuesdays. People would come on, all backgrounds coming on to watch. But why that led to Sosani was because after that, I helped a person with a video production company scale his, John Innovative Media. I helped.
That's when you met Gary Vee, right?
Was through that. And then it was through Caleb Reinhold's agency. I helped him with some ads. So by the time I started Sosani, I already had this kind of history of being an influencer, doing video production, doing ads, being a business person. So it was almost like a natural fit. And especially when COVID, everything closed down, I had that aha moment, like, I think this influencer thing is gonna blow up, because how else are people gonna get their message out there when everyone's stuck inside?
I see. Yeah, that definitely makes sense. So, you know, with starting the agency, like how did you even like begin to start it? You know, starting any business is difficult,
Yeah.
Especially something where you've never done it. You probably didn't know anyone who really did that type of business.
So I think what's grateful about me, and like, guess it's funny, it's like I love how bad things in the world end up being like really good benefits to you, right? So meaning like, because coming here as an immigrant and kind of feeling that sense of not being connected to any community, I was very interested in other communities. And then through that, I was empowered to have a voice to where I damn near announced everything I did, right? Like, you've known for the last 10 years, if I'm going to the bathroom, you know, Tinashe goes to the bathroom every day at 12:30 a.m. You know, he's going to do this, right? So because I was always vocalizing what I was doing, and most people say, grind in silence. Don't let people know your next move. They don't need to know. No, I'm the opposite. Let people know what you're trying to do. Yell your goals. Yell what you're doing. Be consistent. And there are people that are watching that you don't even realize, right? So when I started the agency, I had the opportunity of reconnecting with people who I had worked with as an influencer back in the day. But then people who had been following me and were like, yo, I see what you're doing. I've been following for the last few years. We should like totally like I'll support, or let's work with my business, or I want to be part of it, right? So I've always been a loud person, and that's allowed me to have the advantage of starting. So that kind of is like what got me going. But really, what made me possible was starting, committing to it, obsessed about it, and every day just trying to be a little bit better than I was yesterday.
So with that, what was like some of the toughest moments of your business? Thus far, you know what I'm saying?
The toughest moments of there's a couple. So like the key ones, right? I think one was having to let a business partner go. That was very like a tough moment. That was just the whole process, and kind of realizing like, okay, as the original founder, I am the backbone of making anything go. Second is we did have an influencer house at a point in LA.
Tell me about that.
You know about that, but they don't know about that. But
tell us about that.
Yeah, we're gonna let them know about that. But basically, I did an influencer house. It was at the peak, like at the tail end, right? Hype Heist came out on Netflix, and the idea was, let me take 7 people who aren't traditionally given opportunities to help them, you know, scale. 7 people from 7 different brand types. And I had this idea, let's put them in a house for 6 months and help them, you know, acting classes, dancing classes, networking. Like, we paid for all of that, right? Food, Ubers, pay for everything.
That's crazy.
Everything, right?
In LA too.
In LA. And also like a cheat code. You just use Airbnb. That also helps, you know? And through that process was very interesting because we grew from like 5 to 16 people on the team. We had a whole new operation. So I had like the house team, the management team, the agency team, right? And I'm thinking like, oh yeah, this is going dope. Things are going great. And then I remember and then I remember we were burning quite a bit of cash per month. It was up there.
It was a lot.
It was up there. And but then Y Combinator made an email that was like, the recession is coming. Drop all expenses. We're telling people to pull out. This happened in like 6 to 8 months, right? And we were like 3 months into it. And I think it was a really good concept, but I think sometimes your passion and willingness to do social help, justice, doesn't necessarily translate in a profitable environment. Where if I maybe had 7 people that all did the same thing, that's more valuable to advertisers, right? But 7 people with 7 personalities, with 7 audience types, with 7 voices just didn't work the way it did. And it was a very big learning lesson that made our team cut in half after I had to, you know, dwindle that side of it. But it really taught me as a leader of like, even at times of like things aren't great, still do what's best for everyone, even if that means you're losing money. I think too, what also it taught me through that process of hard times was, if I really love what I do, like, remember, I was calling you like once a week with lessons. Like, it was going downhill.
Crazy.
Dad, everything. I was like, that's it, man. I didn't know what I'm gonna do today.
Every day was a crazy adventure. You know, I'm like, the police are there.
I was like, I gotta figure out how to get $20,000 in the next 2 weeks. The bill's coming. I don't know what to do. Like 2 weeks later, I figure it out. I got it in. We got the 20K. Now I gotta figure this next thing out. You know?
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
Those were definitely crazy days.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, the house was crazy though. You know, so moving forward, on the flip side of that, like what were some of the surreal moments? Obviously, you're still pretty young, with the company, even though you're doing crazy things.
Yeah.
But what's been like some surreal moments that you've had that were really like, wow?
So it's funny because we talk about the house, right? Which even though it seems like it was a bad thing, it was so surreal because I was like, how did I even do that, right? Like I still think about that like a year later, because I'm in 2022. I remember one day being like, I had this idea and I flew 12 people out. They did an audition.
Look, you gotta understand though, you know what I'm saying? These aren't just like 12 like random people from the street.
Yeah.
These are 12 like influencers with large followings, who have, who are growing influencers, so he flew
like
12,
5 million follower, 12 million follower
5
people.
million followers, 12 million. So these are like big people that he flew out to all live in a house in LA. And his company was providing for everything, for their stay, for different classes, et cetera, and allowing them to live there and develop their career. You know what I'm saying? So for him to do that, like, this is actually crazy.
That's what I'm saying, right? So even though like business wise, the metrics could have been better, financially planned better. I was naive. I was a new founder, but I'd made so much money the year before, and that was when I like realized like scaling, and by surreal is like, I realized scaling isn't always about doing more, but it's about doing the same thing to the same customers over and over.
Yeah, exactly.
Retention, right? So it's not always I need to create a new product. I need to create a new service. It's do what we're already doing, but do it really well, and people can rely on you year in and year out. And the innovation comes in making what you're already doing better, not doing something completely new to make what you're already doing better, right? So that was interesting. I think what was also surreal was when we did the thing with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson with the Compa boys, right? And being able to get those 6 guys to have that video collaboration with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and they've all wanted to be actors. So like, I remember I had my acting phase, right? I had an influencer phase. I realized I tried to do it. I was like, man, this is not working. But I didn't have the resources and the team behind me to accelerate. But having those moments of like, wow, like we're giving these guys these opportunities that they usually never get was another big thing. I think third thing was surreal. Was I would say looking like at our clientele, like working with Lexus, automotive from the first time we got them for one city, them coming back and renewing us through Walton Isaacson for like 3 cities. Then we got a year 2 this year. So like that's a real moment of like we're having all these clients and like we're becoming a stable company, right? We're actually being able to do that, and then now I'm getting to work with people like Kabi, LeMay, or like Little Yachty. That one time we worked with him, right? Dwayne "The Rock," what is it? Bow Wow, etc.
Oh, you were at Soulja Boy's house, right?
Yes, that was a very interesting experience as well too. And and it's funny because these are the things that like we do now on a regular basis, and they're not as surreal as I think they used to be because it happens so much. Those times of reflection are the times where I'm like, I really get to do this stuff, right? Like the fact that I haven't had a job since Goldman Sachs as an intern. And the most surreal moment, I would say the last one is, I was in the internship program 2016. I declined the offer. 8 years later, my company is in their accelerator program.
That's crazy.
8 years later, so I'm coming back into the Goldman Sachs network now as a business owner, which is crazy. When you think about that, when all my other friends are still working there right now as employees.
Oh, that's insane.
You know what I'm saying? That's insane. And now, don't get me wrong, it was more stable for them, right?
Yeah,
but I ate a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like 2019, we were eating rice and porridge. Rice and syrup. As a delicacy because we were so broke.
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? And then every day we were going and having gas station pizza. Me and Joe Lewis in Atlanta. We were fucking broke trying to figure shit out. Just doing whatever we could. My friends were going up, starting to marry, starting to have kids. I'm sleeping on couches still. I was still couch hopping until like 2021. You know what I'm saying? I closed a $50K deal in my parents' basement. You know what I'm saying? Come on. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that to me, that whole journey of even getting here and what I've had to do is the surrealness and every day why I'm so excited for what I do.
Okay. No, that definitely makes sense. Moving forward, let's get into your dating life.
Dating life, nice. Okay.
So let's talk, dating life. So You said just recently that some of your friends took the more stable route, got a job, and they're able to do those different things, begin to get married. So are you married yourself?
I am not married.
Okay.
I am single.
Oh wow.
You know what I'm saying? I don't let them, let the ladies know that. I'm 29.
Okay.
I turned 30 January 4th.
Okay.
30, single, has a company.
Okay.
Right? You know what I'm saying?
Well, hey.
Travels all the time.
So guys, you're here.
I'm in therapy too. Oh, come on, ladies. Self-aware. Very demure. Come on. Very delightful, whatever the hell it is.
So you guys here.
You know what I'm saying? But it's very funny though, because like I'm at a point now where I think it happened earlier this year when we got one of our first like $1 million deals,
Okay.
And I just remember like that day getting that call, and the first time ever I didn't feel that high. I didn't feel that like, oh, this is awesome, because it got to a point where it's inevitable. You know what I'm saying? Like everything I'm doing at this point isn't a surprise. It's a matter of time of getting there, So as crazy as that sounds, or like, remember when I think it was the Olympic track runners when they won and they had the little gold medal, and the person was like, what are you, like, are you surprised you're here today? You know what she said? No, I've been working for this. I've visioned this, right? So I say that because that sparked me earlier this year to realize, okay, what am I doing this for?
Yeah.
I thought for the longest time I was doing it for my country, Zimbabwe. I'm doing it to change the world. Guess what? When you're broke eating rice and syrup, Zimbabwe ain't there for you. You know what I'm saying? The world's not there for you. No one's there for you. But who is? Your close friends, people like you, right? People that are actually there day to day, and you start to realize that the world. So everyone says, do something that changes the world. Do something that changes your close people.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Because by doing good for them and really having a core people, that impact ripple effects into the world. So that's why I realized, I was like, man, I want to have a family. I want to have a family of like 3 to 4 kids. I want to be called the Chapondas. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, that's
have a
icy.
family and a community where we like are high connected in the education. We donate to the police station. The government knows me. You know what I'm saying? I got kids in sports, right? All that now. So now I look at dating in that aspect of like, is this someone that could be my mother of my kids? And when you start to date like that, it's actually very interesting in how you.
So what do you look for a person who you would like to be the mother of your kids?
Okay, that's very interesting you say that, because I don't want to give too much away to women who might try to court me by using exactly what I want to hear. But you know what I'm saying? But if you want to know, I would say really it's funny because I don't necessarily know what I want exactly in a woman specific, more than like just being passionate about something. I don't care if you're passionate about knitting. I don't care, right? I think sometimes people see everything I do. I'll go on dates of like, yeah, I'm not necessarily doing as much as you're doing. That's not the point. You know what I'm saying? The point is someone who's passionate, someone who obviously wants to have kids, because I live in Manhattan. A lot of women are not trying to have kids, right? It's very career driven. I think someone who also wants to have kids, who's somewhat passionate and driven for whatever they want to do themselves, I think I'm starting to realize for what I'm building, I want to be able to have someone like I'm going on a flight to Miami for a conference. Let's extend it 2 days and you can come with me. You know what I'm saying?
That makes sense.
Things like that.
So,
yeah.
Just to cut you off.
Yeah, go ahead. Cover you off all you want.
You get one pass on the podcast, guys. So he gets one pass only for today.
Okay.
So that's the, saying, now you know.
Okay,
so
perfect.
What was the reason you and your ex broke up?
That's so funny. Well, why me and my ex broke up? It's interesting because sometimes, which one? Pass. Okay.
Okay. All right. All right. He used his pass.
I used the pass. I used the pass.
So okay, cool. So moving forward. So in terms of dating, so like, are you looking to marry right now? Since we did say 30 single, are you just more trying to vibe it out for the next couple of years?
I'm definitely vibing it out, but I'm more aware of what I want.
Okay, that's smooth.
So right, where before I think we're just kind of dating to date.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, if there's potential in this person, I'm gonna do what I need to do to invest and make it work. I think because I travel so much.
Yeah.
In New York, I love it because I'm finding women who are like me.
Okay.
Hey, let's hang out. Oh, cool. But I'm gonna be in Colorado for a trip. I'll be back Tuesday. Cool. Let's meet Wednesday. Okay, cool. Why? Because I gotta do a Goldman Sachs accelerator on Thursday and fly out Thursday. Like, okay, cool. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm starting to learn that. And I think for the longest time, people kept telling me I won't be able to find a girlfriend with my lifestyle.
Okay.
And I realized there are women that
Yeah.
understand this type of lifestyle. You just have to go look for it. So
you were telling me, you did like what was it, like 13 flights in 3 weeks or something?
yeah, 13 flights.
Like, how
in
do you
3 weeks.
even mentally, like, how are you mentally able to do that? You know,
Because
sometimes
I'm
you do
yeah.
2 flights and you feel drained.
I think think about it, I'm an immigrant who created a company with enough value to where some people are paying for my flights to come have me there in person or have me in specific events.
Yeah.
So that excitement of waking up every day knowing I build something of that type of value, it gets me going every single day, right?
Okay.
I think 2 is I've been getting better in terms of with a lot of flights. I've been getting better with my routine. So I do like turmeric ginger shots before every flight now.
Okay.
I do the calcium vitamin C thing pack. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, that comes in clutch.
Nice.
And I think what's really exciting is it's tiring, but I see it like any other athlete, right?
Okay.
It's a season. You're going crazy for 3 months straight. Then you go off season. So right now it's season time.
Okay. That definitely makes sense.
Yeah. So a lot of people would say it's a lot of work, but I'm like, no, this is. But you don't tell LeBron James to take a break. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Why you gonna tell me to take a break?
Yeah, that makes sense. Cool,
Yeah.
cool. So, moving forward, let's just talk a little bit about personal development.
Yeah.
So, what type are you into? Reading, audiobooks? What type of form of personal development do you prefer?
I wish I could tell you I wake up every single day, I listen to a podcast, a new episode, and do this. No, what I do is I listen to the same audio every day.
Smooth.
It's called The Common Denominator of Success.
By who?
Earl something Dale.
Oh, Earl Nightingale.
Yep, that guy, of course,
Yeah.
self-development guru. So I listen to that every single day, Monday through Friday at least. And it's like 15 minutes. It's called The Common Denominator of Success.
Okay.
And basically it comes down to the fact that the difference between a successful person and everyone else is a successful person has built the habit of doing things that others don't like to do.
Okay.
Right? So if you
Makes
think
sense.
about that, doing things that others do not like to naturally do.
Okay.
Meaning like, for example, the biggest thing is we don't like to talk to people about things that they don't want to hear.
Okay.
Right, so you think about persuasion, you think about sales, when you think about saying the thing no one else wants to say in the room, a lot of people would rather just let things pass. And then 2, he talks about how, we would rather settle for a poor living than go through the hardships for a better one. So when you think, right, so it's literally the same 15 minutes listen every single day.
That's
And that really helps with mindset shifting because it's so true, right? Like we'd rather do excuses, procrastinate than do what we need to do to get things done. We'd rather stay in our home city. It happened with me. I stayed in Kalamazoo when I should have been in LA and New York years ago.
That makes
you know what I'm
sense,
saying?
yeah.
But I was comfortable. I was dating, I was going through my thing. Why leave this to potentially go somewhere I might be lonely for a bit? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I do that. 2, I have very good, mindful people around me that I can have conversations with that help a lot. I do go through phases where I'll like listen to a different podcast every day.
Okay.
But sometimes because, this work can be draining, I like the 15-minute audio because it's so consistent. And it reminds me every single day of like, it's okay. I'm having to wake up at 5 a.m., but who likes to wake up at 5 a.m.?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. And I will say this note. I did not know about the book 5 a.m. Club until this summer. I've been waking up for 10 years.
Yeah, that is actually
So
insane.
anyone who thinks I read this book, go ahead. I did eventually read the book, you know what I'm saying, this summer. But I would say that, but it's not why I do it. I do it because it works really well for optimizing my day.
Yeah, okay. That definitely makes sense. So, moving forward to the next topic. So what I'm going to have you do, just real quick.
Why are you smiling like that?
Hey, you used your only pass, remember?
Okay, you did. You know what? That's okay. That's okay, because that's a topic I'm glad we passed.
Yeah, so what we're going to have you do, this is light though, is you're just going to give let's just say a short motivational speech to yourself. And let's take this back to when, you were eating the rice with the syrup and you had just recently, dropped out of college and said no to the Goldman Sachs scholarship.
So it's like a speech to myself.
To yourself.
To myself.
To everyone else, basically.
Okay, so the rice syrup part was like 2019. The dropping out was 2016.
Let's do 2019.
Yeah, that seems more makes sense. Okay, so do I just go?
It's your time.
Okay, let's see. Tinashe, another plate of rice and syrup. Another play, you look bony, you look like you need to go to see a doctor. Your diet's terrible, but every single day you keep waking up, you keep getting excited, you keep having that spark regardless of what's happening. What I'll tell you now is enjoy every single bowl of rice and syrup, because you're getting one step closer to what you think is a dream, but it's really just reality and you're already living it. Those days of hardships, those days of uncertainty, you are still at a stage where you have not yet thought of giving up, but you will think about that in the next couple of years as things get harder. But know that not many people are able to do what you're doing consistently for so many years. And don't look at what the result was today, but compare it to where it was when you started a few years ago. Keep going, keep doing what you're doing, stay passionate, and no matter what, remember, a bowl of syrup is just one day closer to your dreams to become reality.
Hey, there we go, guys. There we go. So, we're gonna just end it there. We'll definitely, have you on where we'll talk more, and get more in depth. But, I did want to thank you for, being on this podcast. I'm sure you added a lot of value, and, your story is very relatable. You know what I'm saying? So do you have any last words?
I think the biggest thing for me, last words, is, I tell the story and I'm excited, but we ate the shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just got my green card after 22 years.
Oh yeah, you did.
Right?
Yeah, you did.
GCE. You guys are wondering the whole podcast. What is GCE?
GCE?
Green card equipped, right? I got this time last year. And before that, I was a DACA person. I was asylum, but I still started a nonprofit, went to Goldman Sachs, became an influencer, helped another person to grow his agency, start my agency, work with famous people. And so many people love to make excuses. They love to blame the government. They love to sit there on social media and tweet. They love to complain about Trump being president or whatever it is. And I always have focus on what my dad says, and that is focus on what you have control of. Everything else is just noise, but as long as you can wake up, you can read, you can do another email, you can do another set or rep, whatever it is, that's going to allow you to keep moving forward. And I've gone through so much, trauma, whatever the hell you want to call it, that the society and world says that everything I've gone through should not allow me to be where I am today. And I'm all about going against the statistic and what things should be, and defining my own life and the way I believe things should be. And I think a lot of people need to do more of that. And sometimes I don't talk too much about that side of the message, because people think everything for me is perfect.
That makes
but
sense.
It's because of perspective. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not here saying, oh, I'm glad my mom died, it got me to where I am today, but that impact caused me to be where I am today, right? And some people will draw and gnaw on things for so long, and every time I go back to my hometown, I feel that sometimes, right? And you're like, you're still on the same thing when the world is moving. So people just need to, in the most nicest way, shut the fuck up and get to work. I like to say, wipe your tears, pick up the shovel, and get to work. So, me being someone who is a Democrat, I can say democratic laws and bills have impacted me, in a positive sense, even though I couldn't vote. All my Kamala friends, I am Trump, I'm sad, my friend. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, guys, at what point are you going to sit there and keep complaining? You can still start a nonprofit. You can run for government yourself. There's still local things you can still come after. There are still the little immigrant you're trying to fight for. Why don't you go and actually help support a family? There's so much action-based stuff that people are not doing. And I feel like no one wants to hear me say this. And I talk to so many CEOs. People that are doing $100 million companies, that because of the way society is, they can no longer truly be themselves in public. So privately, they're like, listen, man, I work every fucking day, I do this, it is 60, 80 hour weeks, days, whatever the hell, not 60 hour days, but 60 hour weeks. You got to really put in that work to make it happen. You're not going to get to where you are unless you're willing to do that. And there's no such thing as work-life balance. It's work-life integration. You got to love what you do or don't do it. But I'm not going to tell everyone that, though, because then I look like I'm not being in touch as a CEO. But whatever you're doing, Tinashe, keep doing it. But know, as you get more successful, people are going to push back. But this is a closed conversation I'm having.
Yeah.
So the reality truth is, yes, you can blame boomers and Gen Xers, whatever the fuck, but that mentality is what's going to create tomorrow's leaders. Yeah. And while everyone focuses on the social media ride and endorphins of short now, the real leaders that are putting in the work, that are eating the shit, are going to be controlling everything, and you're going to get mad. But by then, you have the same amount of time as all of us, right? I have friends who I've been trying to work with me, and now they're saying, Tinashe, let's work together. You had me for 10 years. Like, I'm sorry. And it's not even like I don't want to work with you, but because of the level I'm at now, it could actually hinder because of the level of performance and experience that I need. So it goes back to stop blaming people. Stop thinking your best friend who went to college is being fake. It's just be accountable and get things done.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm the mayor, and I approve this message.
Yeah, so you heard it here first, guys. And one little thing I'm gonna do, just for you guys, is I'm gonna put our first ever video that we did. We did our first ever video on Facebook Live. I don't know, maybe 12 years ago, bro.
Yeah, something like that.
It's been ages, long, like very, very long ago. I'm gonna put a short, maybe like 10-second clip just so you could see us. And do not make fun of me, all right? But I'm gonna do that for you guys. And I just want to thank you for hopping on the pod. We'll definitely have you on in the future. And so we hear about this 30 under 30 business. Can you give a quick example?
Oh, sure. If I end up, so I made final round for Forbes 3 under 30. Yeah. For the editor, they need to know this, right? So if I don't get it, do not put it in the episode for next week. Okay. You can't put this in there because I think they announced 2 weeks. But if they do, they'll do a social media clip. Yeah. But basically, if I'm on the final round for Forbes 3 under 30. Okay. So I turned 30 in a month, right? Okay. So if I do end up making it Forbes 3 under 30, I will truthfully say that I'm not surprised for what I've been doing. I think what's funny is this year I told myself I was not gonna go after it, and the world brought it to me. Right? Everyone came to me and said, hey, I think you should do this, I'll recommend you. And I just wanna say, even though this exciting milestone that we all have growing up as kids, saying we see the Forbes list, we wanna be on there, and now I'm at a point where I'm in the final round. I just want to say how exciting it is to even get here, but this is just another reminder of continue to do what it is you're doing and don't stop over anything else. I will say though, if I end up making Forbes honoree, I'm going to respectfully decline the offer. Meaning I'm not going to take it, because why would I take Forbes honoree? It's like a participation trophy. You don't even make the actual list, you just make honoree. So I'm not going to take it. So if I end up getting Forbes, let's drop this section. If I don't get it, then cut this out.
Yeah, we cut it out.
Yep. I find out in a week or two.
Okay, no, that's perfect. Yeah, so thank you for being on the podcast. And last, I just want to give a huge shout out to Director Kingsley. You know what I'm saying? He always does what he does. He does multiple different types of media, from filming different music videos.
Can we get a quick reel going while you saying all this?
A reel?
Like a B-roll going of his work while you're saying this? Yeah, sure. No, not literally right now. The editor will do it.
Oh, okay.
So keep talking, the editor will do it.
Okay, yeah. So here, so what I want to do is I want to give a quick shout out to Director Kingsley. He's one of the top, videographers, photographers, that you could find. He does different types of, recording for different artists, music videos, obviously podcasts, different photographies for events, weddings, and et cetera, so, definitely check them out, if you need.
Can I do the pitch for you?
Hey, we're gonna have him.
Let me try again. Let's do it again. I got you.
Director Kingsley.
Yeah, I got you. Let's put it over here for me. So I just want to say, shout out to Director Kingsley. Okay, when it comes to storytelling and actually making you feel something and want to move, he's the one that does it. No matter the form of media, from video, photo, social media, he's able to cover and really grab you and feel as if you're there. It doesn't matter if it's corporate, if it's music videos, if it's podcasts like this, he makes it happen. And the funny part is, he's not even paying me to do this right now. So I want you to go check it out and let us know what you think. And once again, thank you so much for the podcast, and stay tuned in for the next episode.
Bang.